Well, hello, beloveds. I am Reverend Amani Malaika. I am here with beloved Raymont, Dr. Reverend Raymont Anderson. And if you have been with us before, you may know that Ray has been covering for me while I have been away on sabbatical, and I am now returning. So we get to spend this time together for our April theme. If you are new to us, welcome. This is a little bit of a different format than I typically do for sermon content and messages, and I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for watching. So, my gentle giant, Reverend Raymont.
Yes.
This is I just have a giant gratitude.
Thank you.
It has been what a wondrous thing to have you kind of step into the fold and allow me to just rest with ease and no worries, knowing you were holding down.
Amen. Yes. My pleasure. I am honored. Thank you. Yeah, just I'm honored and filled with gratitude to know that I was able to give you the space to take care of yourself. So thank you.
And amen. A little bit of what we're going to be talking about this month in April. So let's talk a little bit about our April theme, which is giant gentleness. And I wanted to share a little quote that came from the minister who prepared this, which is, in those flashes, when we are conscious of our oneness, there is an openness and all-encompassing love. In all the other moments in our lives, we need and really deserve giant gentleness. So that's what we're going to be diving into during this April series, during the next 4 weeks. And I am really excited because I like the way that we're going to have an opportunity to talk about what it means to be gentle with ourselves, to bring that gentleness to others, to our communities, and to the world, and anchoring all that in the reality of sort of this cosmic oneness that you and I belong to, and that it is giant, right? That this giant gentleness, this force of love, the divine, the beloved, the holy, blessed one, whatever we want to call it, is greater than the epic amounts of despair and violence and pain and suffering that we are personally experienced, that I personally experience, and that the world is experiencing on greater and greater levels. And so I wanted to give some context to, may these things be able to be met from this place of love, of the one, of the gentle giant that is God, that is you, that is me. Because we need it. The giant, epic pain of the world must be met with the giant, gentle, loving force that is the divine. What say ye, Rev Raymont?
Oh, I'm right there with you. Yes, because there's so much going on, both in our individual lives and in the collective experience, where it's easy to feel worn down, worn out, beaten down, beaten up, overwhelmed with so much pain and trauma and grief, that if we're not in a space of being gentle with ourselves, with the process, not gentle with the entire way that we show up, then we're actually doing, one, greater harm to ourselves than the collective, because we're not ensuring that our cups, are full. Mm-hmm. And we're actually impeding the process of healing. Right? Like when I had surgery and they're like, don't do nothing for a couple of weeks. Like,
don't
walk.
Don't do it.
It Right, right. Like you have to give your body time to. That's gentleness. That's compassion. Well, if I'm going to do that with my body post surgery, am I doing that with my heart and my mind post argument or post activism or even simply, scrolling through? Wait a minute, the police shot enough. Like if I'm not doing the same, pause, breathe, be gentle, be compassionate. That doesn't mean throw up your hands and do nothing. It means right now, what do you need to do for you?
Amen.
Because you can't do something for another if you're not making sure that you're taken care of, that you have the capacity. Breathe. So, yeah, I'm right there with you 1000%.
Amen. Amen. So, beloveds, may you welcome in the gentle and giant nature of the Holy Blessed One. May you be blessed by it more and more and more throughout this series. I love you so much. So glad you're here. I want to invite you to get obsessed. I want to invite you into a sweet and powerful, positive obsession. And you can join me by doing this. There's several things that are freely offered, no financial requirement. You can get a phone call and a text every day from our prayer warriors, our practitioners. It's called Spirit Calling, delivered directly to your phone. You can sign up for the app that we have built, where you get a message and journal prompts and recommended spiritual practices, an opportunity to get connected in community with other wonderfully obsessed humans through our small groups. And all of these things you can find on our website, abqcsl.org. It is my deep, deep, deep desire to invite you into yourself and your own powerfully divine nature, and to invite you into building this unquantifiable number of people who are so sweetly obsessed with our inherent connection and manifesting that audaciously in this world, as this world. I'm so glad you've been with us. I'm so glad you will come back and keep at it. You are worth it. Love is worth it. Oh, Raymont, we're going to take it to the streets. So my idea about this idea of taking it to the streets, I have my own little subtitle for this week's idea. Let's put some love on it.
Amen.
Let's put some love on it. If there is an action to be had in the world right now, every moment of despair, oh my effing God, I cannot believe another shooting, another genocide. I cannot believe the action that I am inviting us into is to put some love on it.
Yeah. Without a doubt.
I wanted to share a quote from Masaru Emoto, who wrote the book, The Hidden Messages in the Water. He said, whenever you sit in front of water and send out messages of love and gratitude, somewhere in the world, someone is being filled with love and gratitude.
Wow. It's powerful.
What if we actually believed that?
Right? If we lived like we believed it. Yeah. Right.
That I can sit in front of my glass of water right now saying, love, 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 love. I'm so grateful, grateful, grateful. And know that in this very moment, because I have done this thing, someone is filled with love and gratitude right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but to do that, we would have to there are a series of things, Amani, that we would have to already believe, right? Like we would have to believe one that words have power. We would have to believe that we are connected by some invisible force that by me being here, you being there, speaking this to this cup of water, tea, etc., that somehow someone 50 miles, 500 miles, half a world away is impacted in a life affirming. Like there are several other. It's like wow, ooh, ooh. So as soon as I heard you say that, my mind immediately went to what else. What else am I being invited to believe, know, and practice that supports exactly what you shared as a you know as an activity of taking it to the streets with love, as love. Yeah.
Yeah. And yet it's not a complicated idea.
It really isn't. It really isn't. Yeah, we make things so much more complicated, difficult than they really need to be. And I understand where some of it comes from our conditioning. I get that. I get that. And yet there's still the idea, and I referenced this before. So in my mind, my surgery complicated because just the idea of me having a scalpel in my hands is like, oh no, 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 no. Keep with your skill set, right? It's not your skill set. Right, right. Cut the cornbread, not the. So I got you. I got you. But when I remember when the doctor was explaining the process, he explained it with such ease and grace. He made it sound like he could do this with his eyes closed, half sleep. And it made me in perspective this very complex, life dependent process for me was like, oh my. And for him, it was, oh my, I got this.
Yeah, walk in the park.
Right? That is the same thing it is to get to this space of, okay, how do I take this to the streets? What does it look like to take this to the streets? What does it look like to be the very embodiment of love, taking this to the streets? Because it's not a grand, I'm changing the world, blink. But in a way it is.
And it is, right.
Right. And it is. Because like we have so many examples of people who, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Audre Lorde, Maya Angelou, Reverend Dr. Pauli Murray. Like we have all of these examples of people, Marsha P. Johnson, all of these examples of people who didn't set out to do this grand gay liberation or grand civil rights, or I'm just sitting down on the bus and I'm refusing to get up. I'm going to give this person a coat because they're cold. I'm going to do this thing at the food pantry. I'm going to do this one thing with love. And it changes stuff. It's all good.
Please. I'm sorry, y'all. We're going to just keep rolling.
Right, but we get to do these individual things, these individual acts, and I'm reminded, like in the traditional Black family, referencing soul food or whatnot, it's very easy to reference, Nana, Mama, Big Mom, whoever, cooking the meal and putting our foot in it. What does that mean? It means she did it with love. It means her whole soul went into those greens and you can taste it. Well, that's no different than speaking love to the water, knowing that there's water in the air. There's water in our bodies. There's water. So if I can affect this body of water in this cup in front of me, then I can affect this body of water. I can affect that body of water. I can, wow. One moment, one word, one thought, one act of love at a time.
Yeah. And so it is.
Right?
And I think what you just described so easily with such clarity and grace, oh, Dr. Reverend Raymont, is what we call expanding consciousness.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Elevating consciousness, which sounds like this very involved, evolved practice. It's what you just, that's
right.
it.
Right.
Can I intentionally begin to address myself as a body of water and begin to understand, oh, let me send that to these other bodies of water? That is increasing consciousness.
Right.
Not complicated.
Right. No.
You do not need a degree in physics. You do not even need to study the quantum. You don't even need to study science of mind or any tradition.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I often remind. No, I was going to say, I often remind people who find this to be, what, and I'm like, pause for a second. Have you ever sat on the bus, on the train, on a plane, somewhere, and felt someone staring at you, and you turn around and see them eyeballing you? Well, what connected their eyes to your, I feel like I'm being watched. And you turn around and you see, what is that? Or you walk into a room where, if there are still people in there, let's say there are a couple of people, and you walk in and you can tell that there was an argument or something. You feel it. Well, wait. If I can feel they eyeballing me, and I can feel the tension and could cut it with a knife, then I can also be the embodiment of love to such a degree that when I, as love, enter this space, it's transformed in the same way that Kelowna, right?
That means.
Yes.
That means.
Yes.
You
Right.
be the vibe. You be the good vibe that you want to experience when you walk into the room.
Yep.
Be the vibe.
Yep. Exactly. And that in and of itself, it's not trigonometry, right? It's making a choice. Who do I choose to be? And the being informs the doing. I don't want to be what my mom said that I should be or do. Not my dad, not my third grade teacher, not who am I choosing to be? Because the world, as you said previously, the world has its assumptions and dictates in terms of what it means for you to be a Black queer woman. Do you show up based upon their? No, because I know you well enough. You done told them already, hush up now, leave me alone. Till you do right by me, everything y'all even do. But I'm sending it with love, just so you know, right? Right? But I have no reason to operate based upon that. That's your blueprint for the house you're building. I have my own blueprint for that, which I am building, and I'm living based on that. That's really not that difficult.
Yeah. And, we don't have to trip ourselves up with some, grand strokes like you spoke of in the last conversation we had, these grand strokes that, I ideate on that as well. Like, listening to NPR the other day, and I was like, I'm getting on a plane. I am flying to the Congo, and I am effing up and shutting down all cobalt mines. That's what I'm doing.
Right.
And when I move through the rage, I send my love again. I go back to prayer. I return.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know,
Very much.
I wanted to share, I'm looking at our time, and so we're going to wrap on this theme of taking it to the streets, AKA putting some love on it. You mentioned Marsha P. Johnson, and for those of
Mhm.
you who do not know who she is, was one of the founding activists to the gay rights movement that we know of today. Yeah, so look her up, Stonewall, go find the things. But I came across this quote earlier today from Marsha, and I want to share it. History isn't something you look back at and say it was inevitable. It happens because people make decisions that are sometimes very impulsive and of the moment. But those moments are cumulative realities.
Wow. Okay.
Cumulative realities, my friends.
Yes. Amen.
May
Wow.
each of us, may you consciously contribute to the cumulative reality of good on this planet. Put some love on it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Amen.